A train carrying 70 tankers of petrochemicals derailed and burst into flames in Canada's French-speaking province of Quebec during the early hours of Saturday morning. Amateur footage shows massive explosions, while reports say large amounts of toxic chemicals spilled into a nearby river. Well, let's cross to Canada now, where journalist Michael Foran has more. So, Michael, what more do you know about exactly what happened today?
Well, this all occurred in Lac-Mégantic, which is about 2.5-hour drive east of Montreal. It's a small town. It's only about 6,000 people. And like you said, around 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the morning, there was a large explosion caused by a derailment of a train that was going by the town. And when that happened, it was carrying crude oil, very flammable material, very flammable chemical. And of course, it exploded and caused a large amount of damage to the city center. Just quoting the mayor of Lac-Mégantic said earlier today that most of the city center is destroyed, has been demolished by this blast. And again, unconfirmed reports of fatalities. The Quebec Provincial Police were saying earlier that about 60 people have been reported missing, but again, they can't confirm any fatalities or any injuries among them. But it's sort of like we're sort of like in the time phase of the news story or of the incident where there is still a bit of confusion out there, and we're still trying to put together the pieces.
And any sign that the firefighters are getting any sort of control over this? Clearly, what was in the cargo is highly flammable and highly toxic.
Yes, of course. This is crude oil. I mean, this is the same thing that you would have go through a pipeline. You know, we're always thinking about the concerns of pipelines and what if there's a leak that goes into a river or contamination in terms of environmental concerns. This was the same amount of material, the same oil, crude oil, but it was going through train tracks on a train, and that's a big concern now for. I mean, even on Twitter now, people are talking about this in terms of should we really be having crude oil go along villages like this and into massive population centers. And even when it comes to environmental concerns, there have been calls for emergency protocols to go forward in terms of what happened. There is a major river right next to Lac-Mégantic, and they're saying that the SQ, the police of Quebec, are saying that there might have been toxins that have already gone into the water supply of nearby villages. There are major concerns here. So obviously, we're going to be finding out more within the next few hours, but right now, it's really trying to assess the damage and, like you said, trying to get a grasp of the fire, which is still ongoing.
And just briefly, there seem to be quite a few incidents recently involving infrastructure in North America, haven't there?
Yes, absolutely. In terms of this and in terms of, I think what it really comes down to is that, we're talking about, the transfer of oil, of hydrocarbons. So when we're looking at this, we're saying to ourselves, is it really safe to be transporting these across major population centers? And then a bigger debate comes forward. Why haven't we gone to renewable energies like electricity or hydroelectricity, wind power? I mean, these are, efficient energies where, they're virtually renewable and they don't cause environmental damage like something like a hydrocarbon like crude oil does. So, I mean, in terms of environmental disasters, and when it comes to this, I mean, I think this is going to be one that's going to be set in the books of Quebec and Canada for a very long time, and will be set in the books of history.
Well, thanks for bringing us up to date on this shocking and devastating disaster. Michael Foran, live there from Canada. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.